Hey everyone, I'm Stephanie, and I believe that the right book at the right time can change lives, and that all readers should read children's literature, especially adults. So that's what we do here on the KidLit Love podcast. We celebrate all things children's literature: picture books, early readers, middle grade, and young adult novels for readers of all ages. In each episode, we'll talk with children's literature authors and discuss their books, their hopes, their dreams for readers, their writing process, and much, much more. Whether you're an adult reading to their inner child or connecting the young readers in your life with fantastic books, you've come to the right place. So grab a notebook to build your TBR, and let's get to today's episode of KidLit Love. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the KidLit Love podcast. I'm Stephanie Affinito, your KidLit loving host, inviting you back to another bookish conversation with a children's literature author. Today, I'm talking with Nadine Presley. Nadine is a Syrian-Canadian author who writes to empower young minds and hopes her book will serve as beacons of light, reminding children that even in the midst of adversity, there is hope and joy to be found. She's here today to talk about her newest release, A Ramadan Night. This beautiful picture book celebrates the beginning of Ramadan with a young boy and his father exploring the wonder, the excitement, and the peace of the holiday. It's a book you can feel in your heart, listeners, and I cannot wait to talk about it with her. So let's get right to the episode. Nadine, welcome to KidLit Love. I'm so glad you're here today.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Me too. Pleasure is all mine. And while we are here talking about your newest book, it is not your debut. So
Mhm.
I'd love to start with you giving us a bit of your backstory
Mhm.
and your journey through children's literature,
Mhm.
and give us a little bit of that book as well. So we get double dosed today in the episode.
Thank you so much. Yes, so my debut is The City of Jasmine. And it kind of was the book that kind of brought me into the industry. I grew up in Damascus, and I never actually considered or had in mind that I would leave. But when I had to leave, I was met with a lot of, "Oh, you're from Syria. I'm so sorry." There was a lot of very soon, like after I left, I realized that being Syrian was very much linked to war and displacement and all that. And in my memories, it wasn't that, right? Because like I grew up enjoying living a very, very beautiful life and just loving where I live, so and where I'm from and being proud of it. So I wanted to do something to show the world that there is so much more to this place that they see on the media. So that's where the city of Jasmine came kind of came to life. And throughout the book, it's just like a love letter to Damascus, the oldest capital in the world, the rich community, the food, just the harmony of different communities kind of living in the same place for decades, and just all what I grew up experiencing in a book with beauty and just no war, no negativity. So yes, that's really what the City of Jasmine is about. And I was so fortunate to work with Heather Brockman Lee, the illustrator, who, even though she's never been there, was able to pour so much love and joy into this place that she's never been to, but so accurately brought to life. So I'm very, very grateful for that whole experience. And City of Jasmine is just a book that I will always cherish.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I want you to back up a teeny bit more. How
Okay.
how did you decide, I want to write this book,
Mhm.
going to write this book, and I did write this book, and now I got it out to everyone. Like, have you always loved to read and write? Was that something in your mind or not? And it just came later.
So I often hear people saying like I've always wanted to be an author. This is had been my dream forever, and I can't say that was true for me. Like I never actually thought that this was something that I would be able to do, or that it was something for me to actually like. I didn't grow up seeing Syrians or Muslim authors. Like it wasn't something that I thought that was I would be able to do. But when we moved to Canada, and I was kind of my oldest is a big reader, and my second had a very significant speech delay that I was kind of supporting him through. So in between those two, I kind of really poured myself into books, and through the passion of my oldest and reading so many books, I kind of wanted to see more of our stories. And I also had that in the background, like I wanted people to see Syria in a different light. So slowly, very slowly, I started to like research the industry and get into it. And I was very fortunate to sign with my wonderful agent, Alison Remchek with Samola, and she is just a dream to work with. And then yeah, fast forward, all these books are happening. I'm so blessed to like I think also like I was I was querying or getting into the industry at a time where there really was this kind of push for diverse voices.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it all worked out. Yeah.
Yeah, so the book world found you too, and now you're in it and you're steeped in it, and thank goodness, thank goodness.
Thank you so much.
Because you just talked about your debut and said you wanted it filled with love and joy, and my goodness, that if I could convey anything to listeners as we move into the conversation of your newest book, A Ramadan Night, it is just the feeling, the
Mhm,
emotion that you feel in your heart when you're reading it. You feel love, you feel peace, you feel joy, but you also feel curiosity and energy and just, I was gonna say, I don't know how you did it. I know how you did it because the
mhm,
format I cannot wait to talk to you
mhm,
about. But
mhm,
before we do,
mhm,
I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about the book from your perspective, of course,
mhm,
and the inspiration behind this
mhm.
one. And then I can't wait to pick your brain about all the other things.
Course. So I knew that I wanted to write a Ramadan book. Like I really wanted to write something about this. Like Ramadan is a favorite month of mine, and I really wanted to like just create something about it. So I actually started by surveying a lot of Muslim children. Like, what is your favorite part of Ramadan? What do you love most about the month? A lot of them said the food, but the majority said we love the Ramadan nights. And that was so true to me because that was my favorite part of Ramadan, even growing up. And I was also thinking, like, I was looking at the books, and we're fortunate to have some more books right now about Ramadan. A lot of them speak about first fasts and the moon sighting. And I kind of wanted to, and I think um, a lot of people think about Ramadan as a month of fasting, but it is, or like kind of in a one-dimensional sort of way. And I really wanted to express how much of an immersive experience it is as a month. And I wanted the book to be that. I wanted it to be like an immersive experience into the different dimensions of what Ramadan really is about. It is about fasting, of course, but it is a lot of other things too. And they all kind of coexist in this month that we cherish. And I really wanted to bring all that. And I love that you took the feeling and the emotion from that, because that is really what I wanted to convey, what a Ramadan night feels like, that kind of emotion in it. So, yeah.
It was impossible not to, Nadine. It was impossible not to because you're in the book, you're reading the book, and you've got this childlike perspective trying to figure out, what is this? What does it feel like? Let me
Yeah.
pay attention. Let me be curious. Let me see what I'm feeling. But the
Uh-huh.
format you chose
Uh-huh.
in exploring what all of those different dimensions were that work together,
Uh-huh.
the main character is asking, inanimate objects and things that you normally can't ask and get a conversation about this whole idea, who then, gives a message back. And it's such a different, beautiful way of thinking of, like you said, all of the other things
Uh-huh.
that might not be talked about as much, or you just might not think about or see as much because you can't ask,
Uh-huh.
the moon or the sidewalk, questions, but you did hear. And
Yeah.
that to me was what just drew me in and made me feel things on a different level. So tell me about the choices you made in
Mhm.
choosing that format and how you did it.
Yes, I was actually reading a bunch of different books, and I actually read What is Love by Barnett, and it was one of the inspirations, or kind of like a mentor text sort of that I use while writing A Ramadan Night, and I wanted to convey the emotions without it coming off as like a didactic or kind of like somebody or a grown up kind of conveying. I wanted it to be like the experience of like bouncing off the different things. And I also took from my experience because in Damascus there is a mosque or two or three in every neighborhood. So we would walk to the mosque every night to pray Taraweeh in Ramadan. And I was a very young girl when I would do that. And sometimes I would go alone. Like even if my parents aren't able to go, I would just like take my prayer clothes and just walk that 10 minutes to go there. And I would experience those things. So when you're walking alone as a child, it really is a core memory for me, kind of just taking in everything around me, like even if it was like the sidewalk, or like looking at the moon as it was following me, and all those different things. So I kind of took from that, like from what I was reading as mentor texts and my own experience as a child, and kind of went through 17,000 edit revisions to get to where it, yeah,
Yeah.
came. Yeah.
That is such a good point that I really hadn't even considered. Is when you're a child, right? This is just how you operate.
Yes.
You have an imagination, you have a deeper connection to the environment around you than most adults whose brains are going in
Yeah.
50,000 directions. So that is
Uh-huh.
very acceptable for a child to think, well, I'll just talk to the moon and the sidewalk and the carpet and the echoes of laughter and all of those
Yeah.
things that
Yeah.
make that childlike wonder and
Mhm.
curiosity that I
Mhm.
think is
Mhm.
so appealing to us adults too, because it's so easy for us to lose
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
forget
Mhm.
that inner feeling when life gets really busy or really hard. And I think all picture books are for kids and adults, but there's just something about this one that may teach kids and may invite kids, but as adult
Mhm.
reminds them,
Mhm.
of what truly is important and how we could get some of that childlike wonder
Mhm.
back. I would much rather walk through my days asking questions of the moon and the sidewalk and being so present and being open, just
Mhm.
being open to feeling like that. Like I get goosebumps when I
Yeah.
think of those pages that really were just so beautifully emotional.
Oh my God, thank you so much. I so appreciate your passion. You're amazing.
Now, I do want to talk about the
Mhm.
illustrator
Yes. Yes.
because, you
Uh-huh.
know, your words are beautiful, the pictures are beautiful, and they just combine together to help convey that emotion as well.
Mhm.
It's the way they're drawn. I also think it's the color palette that was chosen, and I would love for you to talk about that from your
Oh,
perspective.
before I start talking about it, just the color palette, I think it is so hard to draw night. And I think that
Mm.
the night is so alive. She did such a wonderful job. I think I've been very, very fortunate with the illustrators I'm working with. Asma Ainai, she's also Muslim and she's also Syrian. So I the most wonderful story with Asma is that when I was actually writing a Ramadan night, there's this one mosque in Damascus that's a very well-known mosque. It wasn't the mosque in my neighborhood, but it was one that I would drive to just because it was just such a beautiful mosque, such a beautiful experience to be there. And it just so happened that Asma's house was in that same neighborhood. So when I was writing a Ramadan night and like kind of imagining the mosque, this is the mosque that I was imagining in my head, just writing the words. It's called Jami' Badr, the Mosque of Badr. And so she, without us talking,
Wow.
she drew that same mosque. And I was like, oh my God, this is the mosque that I had in mind.
This is
And she was
it.
like, that's where I grew up too. And I think
Oh,
her grandpa's house was in the same neighborhood and they overlooked the same place. So So yeah, we actually had the same experience of Ramadan growing up in the same place at the same mosque. So yeah, and she did such an amazing job. I mean, the calligraphy in the inside the mosque and just
Yeah.
bringing the emotions of Sami and the father to life. I think it was just so beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the end pages. Can we
Yeah,
say the end pages
I know.
are gorgeous?
Carpets. I,
Yes, the different carpets the second I open the book, when you see end pages like that, you just know you're in for a treat. And I love that it was literally meant to be for
I
you
know.
to
It really
collaborate. Yeah.
was. It really was. It really was. Yeah, she's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I know the book celebrates Ramadan, but I really feel like it just celebrates
Mhm.
love and family and belief and peace and all of the things. So
Mhm.
I always like to tell listeners who would love this book, who needs this book. Everybody
Yeah.
needs and love this book, right? It can teach us, for those of us that
Mhm.
do not celebrate Ramadan or understand it yet. This book will
Yes.
help us truly understand the spirit. It will help others
Mhm.
see what
Mhm.
they celebrate, but it also is just kind of this universal invitation to think about your own
Mhm.
beautiful things that you have in your life as well. Would you agree?
I agree. I love that you said that. I always say that when I'm writing books that are from my own experience, I really want the reader to feel that they are inside experiencing the book and not outside kind of looking in or learning about somebody else's traditions or experiences. I want the reader to feel inside the book, like they are part of the celebration or part of the city or walking through my city, things like that. So I love that you said that. I really wanted it to be like an immersive experience to every child reading this book. It's also about a child who is just on a walk with his father, enjoying a late night dessert. That themes that are very, very relatable. I really think they have a very tender relationship, the father and Sammy, and how they kind of walk together and you see Baba's proud smile and the way he really loves Sammy as we walk through the book.
It
Yeah.
is. There's so many beautiful elements of it that, again, you just feel. You
Yeah.
you read, you look, and you
Yeah.
feel.
Yes.
Now, as your book goes out into the world pretty soon at the time of the release of the episode, what is your hope for the book or your hope for readers who get the book in their hands?
I just honestly I hope people will respond to it the way you did. Like kind of if
I
I get
will.
that reaction from readers, I would have truly
Yeah.
it would have yeah, that's what I really want for the book. And I just hope to continue to create books like that really show the joy in different dimensions of whether it's a Muslim tradition or it's a place in the world that and even for like the city of Jasmine, there are so many places in the world that and there's always more to the story. And I really want that message to be taken. There's always more to any story you know about any place or any faith. And I just wanted to bring all of that more closer to the reader. Mhm.
So you didn't always intend to become a picture
Yes.
book writer, but I just heard you say something about more stories and more things. And you don't have to give things away, but I'm hoping, are there more books, hopefully, that
I
come our
am
way?
I am like so in love with the writing world and I'm all in right now. And yes, there's going to be a picture book with HarperCollins coming out in 2027. It's called Where There Is Love, and it has grape leaves being cooked, and it has a little bit of a refugee thing going through, and it has a beautiful bond of memories, and how it's also kind of a sensory experience, how a scent can take you back in time to certain places. So it plays on that theme. Yes.
Oh, I can't
And
wait. You have to come back in
I would love
2027
to. I'd be
to talk
honored
about
to.
that.
And then some more books that are still unannounced. But hope,
Wonderful.
yeah. And I'm also working on a middle grade right now. So still not done, but yes, in the works.
Oh, that's so
Yes.
exciting. That's
Yes.
so exciting.
Mm.
I can't wait to hear more about that when, I know how the book world works. So when
So,
we can hear, we can hear. So
Yes.
where's the best place for listeners to find you online so that they can keep up with all of the
Uh,
things that might come next?
I'm active on my Instagram page, Nadine Presley author, and I also have my website, nadinepresley.com. Those are the places I'm most active at.
Okay. Well, I will put links to both of those in the show notes. And of course, I'm going to put links to A Ramadan Night. I'll also put City of Jasmine is there as well to make it easier for listeners to click on it. Um, Beautiful book. Thank you so much. This was such a wonderful conversation. And yes, it was on record. 2027, you come back.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much, Tiffany. You're amazing. I appreciate what you do and how you support the community. You are just a light. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. And listeners, thank you too for listening. And I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for listening to today's episode of the KidLit Love podcast. You'll find links to all of the books, resources, and ideas mentioned in the show notes and at alitlife.com. You'll also find KidLit Love on Substack. That's where you'll find posts for each episode, monthly KidLit roundups, and an invitation to join my summer book club and go deeper into the world of children's literature. And if you loved this podcast and want more, you might like to listen to my other podcast called Get Literate. It's a podcast that explores all things books and reading, notebooks and writing to build a life you love. One more thing. If you loved what you listened to today, please take a moment to rate and review the podcast, or take a screenshot of the episode and text it to a friend. This helps the podcast grow and builds our bookish community of Kid Lit Love. Thanks for listening.